In the words of the late George Carlin, BS is the glue that binds us together as a nation. Here comes a ton of it. It's time for BSing with Big Nate.
I had a way then, losing it all on my own. I had a heart then, but the king's been overthrown. I'm not sleeping now, dark is too hard to beat. I'm not keeping now the strength I need to push me. You show the lights that set me down to start. You shine when I'm alone. And so I tell myself that every child dreaming when they're calling, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home, calling, calling, calling home. You show the lights that set me down to start. You shine when I'm alone. Saves play within my head, touch my own skin, hope that I'm still breathing. And I've been back to hell, my brother and my sisters left in an unknown place. No time I feel safe. You show the lights that set me down to start. You shine when I'm alone. And so I tell myself that every child dreaming when they're calling, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home, calling, calling, calling home. You show the lights that set me down to start. You shine when I'm You show the lights that set me down to start. You shine when I'm alone. And so I tell myself that every child dreaming when they're calling, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home, calling, calling, calling home. You show the lights that set me down to start. You shine when I'm
That was Burden of the Sky Lights right here on BSing with Big Nate, of course, cover of the Ellie Goulding track. I don't know. I'm not a pop DJ, so I don't have to know that. But I am joined today by singer for Burden of the Sky, Mr. Scotty James. How are you today?
Hi, hello, Nate. I'm very good. Thank you for having me today.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to say I love that track. It's one of those ones that when you hear it, the original, it immediately captivates you. And I think you guys caught that exact same feeling with your version. And now it doesn't have to be one of those things where I kind of like hide in the closet and listen to it. I can actually like, rock out. So I want to talk about how did you guys decide to cover that track?
It was a long process, really. We were kind of tossing around ideas probably for, 6-7 months, I want to say. We kind of went back and forth. We knew we wanted to do a cover. We just didn't really know which one we wanted to do. So we all kept tossing on ideas like, how about this? How about this? Then like one person would like it, or, nobody would like it, or something like that. And then Josh ended up saying, he came up, he's like, what about Lights, Ellie Goulding? And like, we were all like, Lights? Like, I don't really know that song. And obviously like he turned it on and played it. And that first, that sample hit, like, oh, this song. Yeah, we all know this song. And we all loved that song just back from our days. Kind of like you said, like a guilty pleasure of ours. We just like, we were like, yeah, I like that. I like that. And so we were listening to it, and then he recorded a little bit of it and he sent it to me. I think he got a drum beat and just like a little guitar down. I'm like, all right, I'll work with it and just kind of see what I can do. And I threw some vocals over it. I just started singing and kind of playing around. And we got like halfway done, and I'm like, this is starting to sound pretty damn cool. We were really getting into it, and then it kind of took off from there. It just kind of became a passion project for us, and we got it all the way done. We're like, this is pretty awesome. So then we just kind of sat on it, got some feedback, and everyone seemed to really like it. We're like, all right, let's make this thing official and get it out there and see what everybody else thinks.
I want to talk about, so I like when bands take covers that aren't necessarily in their genre, that what you would think would be in their wheelhouse. One that really stands out to me, Between the Buried and Me, in the mid 2000s, put out an entire album of covers, and they had some interesting ones on there. Like there was a Counting Crows track, but what they didn't do is make it their own. Whereas I feel like you guys really kind of owned Lights, and it's its own thing. It still
awesome.
Pays homage to the original, but the way you sing it is just, I love it. But I want to talk about the video you guys put out for it as well. What was the process like for that?
Long. it was kind of nuts. So what we did is we went in, we had like a full lighting and production crew. We were going to make it look, we really wanted, like, cause lights, we wanted it to be very light heavy and just lots of visual effects. We took a lot of cues from Ellie's original video to try and kind of like what you said, we wanted to pay respect to the original song, because we really like the original song. It's a really well written song, but we wanted to make it our own. So basically what we were trying to do is take Ellie's version and just kind of put our Burden spin on, make it a little bit darker, a little bit more heavier, and really kind of darken the tone. And so what we did, we went through, we got all these lights done, did all the video, we got all the lights, and it came out, and like we got it, we were looking at it like, man, this isn't really what we were looking for. So we were kind of like, this was like maybe like 2 weeks before we were supposed to release this too. We were like, what do we do? We're just kind of like looking around. So I called one of my buddies from my old band, Ryan Deemer from Sound Aura, and we're like, hey, we got a Rush project. Like, we got this video. We're not sure really where we want to go with it. Like, we know we want it darker. We had all this footage. Like, just take it, do whatever you want with it, and just do the best you can. So he got it, and man, it's like in a week he brought it back to us, and pretty close to what you see is what he sent back to. I mean, there wasn't like the final edits weren't done, but I mean, like the storyboards were there, like everything was there, and we're like, this is awesome, dude. Like, this is exactly what we're going for. And after that, it was like just some little edits here and there, and it came out how it came out, and we were stoked, because we really weren't sure what was going to go on there for a little bit, because we had the song, we knew we had to have a killer video to go along with it. And man, Ryan and Sound Aura, they knocked it out of the park, and we were so happy that it went so well, because there was a little bit, there was like, man, I don't know, are we gonna have to delay the video? What are we gonna do? We're just tossing back and forth, but they killed it, man. We're really happy with how it came out.
I mean, it's really well polished, and I think, like you said, this was kind of a passion project for you guys, and I think the passion shows. I think it comes through in the video really well. I do want to talk about how this fits in a music lineup. Of course, you guys put out. I'm going to butcher this. The Sign Timore.
Sin Timore. Pretty close.
Sin Timore.
Yeah.
So you put that out in 2019, and of course, Lights came out earlier this year. Is it something that you guys are working on an album, or is this just a freestanding on its own? Here's our version of Lights as a single.
Yeah. So this tune itself is probably meant to be like a standalone single. We just kind of wanted to get some new music out there, just with everything's going on, and we've been a little quiet, no shows or anything. We're like, well, let's just put some music out and get something out to the fans. But this is also, it's more of like a stepping stone. So we wanted to get this out there so we have new material, but we are currently writing and working on our new album. We have probably 5 or 6 songs pretty much ready to go as demo tracks, but with everything that's going on, we're really taking our time and making sure everything's polished. So we probably won't be releasing any new Burden songs probably till late 2020, maybe even early 2021. Our plan really is to, because with Sin It's Amore, we really haven't pushed that album. We had Sirens and Papa. We put a couple of songs off there, but we were just, this year was supposed to be us pushing Sin It's Amore. We were going to just play on the road nonstop, push the album, push the songs. Obviously that didn't happen. So we had to kind of switch gears a little bit. So our plan was to right now, starting with Lights, get Lights out there, let it circulate, and then basically take probably 2 or 3 more songs from Sin It's Amore and give them the same treatment, make a full video, make a single, get some of the songs out there, let that album breathe a little bit. And while all that's going on, we'll be in the background, writing, recording, getting demos out, just really getting everything together so that when 2020 kind of comes to an end and 2021 kind of begins, and we're hoping concerts start picking back up in festivals, then we'll have like just a full, just plethora of songs that we can get ready to go, and that should carry us throughout the year as we can play those new songs.
So how does it feel knowing that you've got this, the Sin It's Amore that came out, and then you weren't able to give it the love you would normally give to an album like that? How does it feel knowing that, well, crap, we've already been productive and we're working on this? Is it something where, I mean, this would be a wild concept, but I mean, hell, tour on 2 albums at once. Has that been done before?
I'm sure it has, but I mean, yeah, we're still kind of like a baby band. We haven't been around that long. So, I mean, us just getting more of a library or more music out there is only going to help us. And it's just going to be better for the fans who do listen to us, because there's just going to be more to kind of pick and choose from.
You know, that is true. Whenever I find a band and I get real jazzed on, I'm really stoked, and it's like, well, they've got 1 album.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hurry up, guys. I know I just found you last week, but what are we doing here? You mentioned that you're a baby band. I actually want to go back a little bit and let's talk about, how did Burden of the Sky end up coming together? Like, how did that come to fruition?
Let's see. Go way back. I want to say we're probably, the band as a whole, I want to say we've been together like 7-8 years. But a lot of that was like preparation time. So way back, I want to say probably about 7-8 years ago, Josh, our guitar player, he's the one who started Bots along with Brad, the other guitar player. But I knew Josh going way back. We were just in similar bands, and we played shows together all the time, and we kept in touch. And he actually hit me up. He's like, "Hey, starting a new project. Just want to see if you're interested in singing for us." And I was like, this is just when I started. I was in another band, my old band, Terror Tale, and I just had my daughter, so I had a lot of things going on. I was like, dude, like, I really wish I could. I'd love to. I don't have the time right now. He's like, yeah, that's cool. So we stayed in touch, and he got the guys together and eventually formed Burden. And then we played shows with Burden with me and my other bands. We all stayed in touch. We were really close, and it just kind of, years went by. They came out with their first album, and they ended up parting ways with their singer. And he just happened to hit me up again, same way, kind of like, hey, still doing stuff. We don't have to sing anymore. He's like, how about now? And it just happened that I was kind of swinging down the downside of my other band. I was like, yeah, dude, like, this is perfect timing. I was kind of wondering where I was going to go after this. So I said, yeah, let's do it and see what happens. So we got together. They had the music to Sirens written, and I kind of used that as like my trial song, I guess. Mm-hmm. And we wrote that together, and Sirens came out, and we're like, yeah, this is going to work. I think it was clicked instantly. Like I said, I knew the guys. So, I mean, me coming in really wasn't that big of a change. It was more just kind of getting used to playing together and a different type of band. But after that, kind of rest is history. It just all clicked there, and then here we are.
Excellent. So, of course, 2020 has been the year of COVID-19, everything getting shut down. But you guys are actually playing a show in just a little bit at Riverfest in Fort Madison, Iowa. Is this your only show for the year?
Yes, only one of the year. It was weird saying that, just having one show. But yeah, that's it, man. It's this. We pretty much said, like, we don't want to cancel this show. This is going to be an awesome show. It's outside. Let's just go out there and have one more show. We can have some fun and get all that kind of pent up energy out. But yeah, after that, we're solely focusing on just getting our material down and making the best album possible, so that when things do come back around, we can just come out swinging.
So are you like absolutely ruling out any shows going forward for 2020? Like, this is done, we're going to focus on putting some killer music together? Or like, let's say some bar down the street's like, hey, you want to play a show? Would you guys do it?
I wouldn't say it's out of the question. I mean, obviously, kind of depends on how everything's going on and COVID and guidelines and stuff like that. But I mean, if there's a cool show and we're all available, we're gonna play it. Like we say we're not, when we say that we're not playing shows, it's more like we're not actively looking for shows. But if someone comes over like, hey, got this cool show, good environment, like everything's looking good, like yeah, we'll bust out a weekend and come out and play a few shows, bust out the cobwebs.
I like it. I like that mentality that, I mean, it's probably a little easier to swallow knowing that you're playing Riverfest and then saying, hey, we're not putting any pressure on this. Let's focus. But yeah, I really appreciate that mentality. Last but not least, this is important. We've made it this far, but we got to talk about where Burden of the Sky can be found online.
Oh, everywhere. I mean, Bird in the Sky, pretty simple. You look us up, you'll find us. We got birdinthesky.com, all your streaming sites, YouTube. Type in our name, you'll find us. It's pretty simple. Thank you, Internet.
There you have it. Give them some love. Thank you so much for joining me today, Scotty.
Thank you, Nate. Thanks for having me.
Are you sick and tired of using those cheap, smelly blue masks? They always seem to break, and no matter what you try to do and fix it, it just doesn't work. Plus, they look horrendous, and they never fit quite right.
There's gotta be a better mask!
Now there is! Introducing the new limited edition 105.3 The Bear Mask. This 2-ply eco-friendly face cover is washable and reusable. And the best part about the new 105.3 The Bear Mask is that 100% of the proceeds benefit the Southwest Virginia COVID-19 Response Force. Get your new limited edition 105.3 The Bear Mask today.